Imagine if someone gave you $1 billion and asked you to spend 1,000 of them every day until you ran out. How much time would it take you to spend all of it? Well, here's the crazy part. You'd be spending $1,000 every day for about 2,740 years before you went broke. When you have that kind of money, a regular old bank account probably doesn't cut it, right? I mean, you can't expect Bill Gates to walk into a bank and withdraw a few $1,000,000, which is why in this video, we're telling you how exactly billionaires stash their money. Who knows? Maybe you might need some of these tips for yourself one day. Hit the like and subscribe button, and $1 billion will surely be yours very soon. Time to get down to business. Now, the first thing to understand before we talk about where billionaires like to stash their money is the fact that there are countless people in this world who own tens of billions of dollars. The one thing common between all of them, they need to hide their money from prying eyes and sometimes even their own governments. Whether it's to avoid paying taxes or just wanting to keep things private, billionaires all over the world have a few tricks up their sleeves to make sure that their wealth remains safe and hidden. Unlike most of us regular folk, billionaires really don't like putting all their money in one place. In fact, they have diversified portfolios, which means they own tons of different stocks, real estate, bonds, businesses, and more. Why? The answer is pretty simple. Inflation affects rich people the most because the more money you have, the more you're at risk if or when the value of a currency fails. Which is why billionaires don't believe in stashing their money in a savings account, because that's never going to benefit them. Instead, they stash their money by investing it the right way so they can earn more than just letting inflation eat away their wealth. This way, your money not only stays hidden from the public, but it's also being put to good use. Starting a business is one of the most popular ways billionaires like to hide their money. If you really think about it, most billionaires in the world own at least one, if not multiple businesses. Once you establish a business, tax deductions are easier to write off, which means that all your wealth is safe, and through the business, it eventually keeps coming back to you. But here's one more trick. What billionaires usually do is that instead of getting external employees, they hire their own family members so that the wealth stays in their own circle. Hiring family members earns their business a tax write-off. Will set their salary money going into tax-deferred accounts, which help in hiding and protecting wealth better than ever. Now, let's say you're bored of starting one business after the other. What other options do billionaires have? You ever wonder why all the rich people in the world own so many vacation homes? Let me tell you, it's a foolproof way for them to stash and shield their money. While state and local income taxes, along with property taxes, are limited to $10,000. That's not the case with a vacation home, especially if you start renting it out when you're not there. Let's say you rent your vacation house for less than 14 days a year, and the rent you earn is usually tax-free. Rent out the house for more than 14 days a year, and you can deduct expenses like mortgage interest, property taxes, maintenance, depreciation, making this a win-win investment. Apart from investments in real estate, another way billionaires like to use up their money is through life insurance. Now, whether it's permanent cash value, whole life, or universal life insurance, this kind of investment has all the perks and none of the market risks of other types of investments. When you take money out of your life insurance policy, you can remove it as a tax-free loan against your policy's death benefit. And of course, life insurance always comes with death benefits that help your future generations profit off of your wealth for years to come. So not only is it a good way to stash money in the present, but it also helps you save up for the future. One of these extremely famous tax havens is Marshall Islands, because any company registered there that conducts its business elsewhere and doesn't collect local profits is 100% free from any taxes, which is how offshore accounts work. The identity of the company owners directors, and stakeholders remains confidential. It is because the registers are not available for public inspection. In addition, there is no requirement to file annual accounts, making this a foolproof way to hide away your money. Another really great way for billionaires to hide money is donating to charity. Now, I know that most billionaires really don't like giving away huge parts of their wealth to others, but hear me out. Charity is a great way to never be questioned about your wealth and the tax that you're supposed to pay. Donor advised funds are a next level approach to charitable giving that can offer even bigger tax benefits. Donor advised funds are managed by a third party sponsor and source. But here's the catch. An individual donor contributes a certain amount of assets to a fund. Then donors can deduct the full amount right away from that year's taxes. No questions asked. Panama is also a huge name that comes up when you talk about offshore companies in the USA. Panama is a little different because the city has been receiving drug money from Latin America and other sources of dirty money from the United States, along with other countries, for ages now. Panama is now a seasoned player and has over 350,000 secretive international business companies registered, while also forming tax evading foundations and insurance, even covering boat and shipping registration. Whether it's corporate tax, withholding tax, income tax, capital gains tax, local tax, and estate or inheritance tax. Offshore companies in Panama are exempt from everything, which is why it's a top favorite among the world's biggest billionaires. After offshore companies, billionaires also resort to shell companies. First of all, shell companies are only used to reduce tax liability and to store funds while maintaining anonymity, which is pretty much all you can ever want as a billionaire. So a shell company has to function significantly. In most cases, they only exist on paper without an office or employees. Pretty much like an empty shell, hence the name. But what these corporations do is that they can store money and engage in financial transitions, which is an easy way to disguise business ownership and hence hide all your money. According to the non-profit organization Americans for Tax Fairness, shell companies and other tax loopholes help U.S. corporations avoid paying as much as $90 billion per year in taxes to the IRS, which just goes to show how many billionaires use this as an option to store their wealth. And the best part, it's all legal. Well, mostly. Another genius way that billionaires use to stash away their money is buying jewelry. That's right. Who could have ever imagined that all the jewels that these rich people are spotted wearing are more often than not their ticket to keep their wealth a secret and hide their assets from the public domain? While this is technically illegal, there really is no way to keep track of how much jewelry people buy. And of course, when you pass heirlooms like diamond rings, bracelets, earrings, or necklaces down the line, they don't have to file any gift tax return or estate return. These small items can go unnoticed, but that comes in handy, of course, once you start collecting them without anyone noticing. While there are a lot of ways for a billionaire's net worth to become public to the masses, what's not so easy is knowing where all of their money goes. And for good reason. While putting your assets away safely doesn't shield them completely, the point is to make them harder to find. Whether you do that by investing them inaccessibly or spacing out the ways in which you invest them, everyone has their own choices. Considering all of this, it's pretty evident that most billionaires don't really want people to know exactly how many assets they have to their name. Now, this might be because some people like to live modestly, just like the other ordinary people around them. Or it might be because when people know how much you're worth, it's like you're constantly walking around with a target on your neck. And if the rich don't do all they can to hide away the target and their hard-earned money, what comes next is definitely not something we want to imagine. Thanks again for watching Every Trend. Keep up with more videos. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Also, if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up and we'll keep more coming. Stay trendy, my friends.